My name's John Graham, and I'm the badass granddad you didn't know you had. I'm here to tell you another story of my adventures. This one about double-crossing my own government, but for the right reasons. And I hope from the story you'll gain some insights on taking risks, living a life with meaning, courage, and passion. Toward the end of my diplomatic career, I was sent to the U.S. mission to the United Nations in New York, where I was put in charge of American policies toward Africa, including South Africa, which at that point in time was run by a brutal, racist, white supremacist regime under a system called Apartheid. I went down to South Africa to see for myself, and yeah, indeed, it was awful. The white government was oppressing blacks, killing them, jailing them, and there seemed to be no recourse. So I came back and determined to do something about it. Now, at that point, the United Nations, which didn't much like Apartheid, had instituted an arms embargo on South Africa, forbidding the sale of any guns and military equipment to South Africa because it was used to oppress blacks. But that embargo leaked like a sieve, and it leaked like a sieve because of the amounts of money to be made in shipping guns to South Africa. And governments, including my own government and in Europe, were turning a blind eye toward what was going on. I began meeting secretly with African members of the Security Council and trying to develop enough trust so that we could begin creating some plans to create an embargo that would really work. It took a while, but I did that. And at a certain point, I saw a message that received by my boss, the American Secretary of State, from an African foreign minister who was complaining bitterly about America's hypocrisy in not instituting and backing the arms embargo. And in the middle of that, there were two sentences that I myself had drafted 3 weeks before, given to my contact in New York. We sent them back to Africa, and they'd come rocketing back. Anyway, I then went to my masters in Washington, and I says, look, this is awful. We're looking like real hypocrites. We got to do something. We got to back this embargo. And so the U.S. government ultimately did back it, and the Europeans had no choice but to follow suit, and the new embargo was instituted, and it was tough, and it worked, and ultimately helped end apartheid. So yeah, I felt really good about that, but I'd taken enormous risks. I could have been fired or even jailed for what I had done. But I'd planned carefully, I'd assembled the contacts, and I'd acted with a certain amount of perseverance, and I must say courage. Anyway, the point is this: you're going to be confronted by times when there's something you need to do because it's the right thing to do, but it's risky. And I'm just saying, do it, take those risks. As you know, I think living a life without taking any risk is boring and ultimately inconsequential. So you need to take those risks, but take smart risks. Look at what you're getting into, plan ahead, develop the contacts that you need, and then act. You'll help solve the problem, and you'll certainly add more meaning and passion to your own life. Thank you.